Geb, the god of earth in ancient Egyptian mythology, represents the foundation of life. He is the embodiment of the land itself, fertile, strong, and deeply connected to the Nile River. In Egyptian belief, the earth wasn't just a passive landscape, but a living being. Geb's role is vital in the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, as his domain holds the tombs of the dead and the crops that sustain life. His power touches every aspect of ancient Egyptian life, from agriculture to the rituals of the afterlife. According to Egyptian creation myths, Geb is one of the first divine beings, born from the union of Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, the goddess of moisture. His twin sister and consort, Nut, the goddess of the sky, was separated from him by Shu to create space between the earth and sky. The separation allowed for the creation of the world as we know it. Although separated, Geb and Nut's love remains eternal, with Geb lying beneath Nut, forever looking up at her in the heavens. As the god of the earth, Geb's most important role is in ensuring the fertility of the land. The Nile's annual flooding, which enriched the soil and allowed crops to flourish, was seen as a gift from Geb. The Egyptians depended on this fertility for survival, and they worshipped Geb to ensure the land remained fruitful. Without Geb's blessing, the Nile might not flood, and the crops could fail, leading to famine and suffering. In addition to his role in nurturing life, Geb is also a protector of the dead. The Egyptians believed that after death, their bodies would return to Geb, who would keep them safe in his embrace within the earth. Tombs and burial grounds were sacred spaces overseen by Geb. His role as the earth god was not just about life, but also about the passage into the afterlife, where the body is preserved for eternity. Despite his immense power, Geb is not without struggles. Egyptian mythology recounts conflicts between Geb and his brother Set, the god of chaos. These conflicts, which sometimes caused earthquakes, symbolized the tension between order and chaos, stability and destruction. When Set killed their brother Osiris, Geb's role in maintaining order was further challenged, as he had to balance the needs of the living with the care of the dead. The Nile River, the lifeblood of Egypt, is also under Geb's domain. Egyptians believed that the yearly flooding of the Nile was a direct result of Geb's influence. This annual inundation deposited rich, fertile soil across the land, allowing crops to grow. Geb's connection to the Nile was both sacred and practical, as the river ensured the prosperity of the people and the kingdom. The separation of Geb and Nut is one of the most poignant stories in Egyptian mythology. Their love was so strong that it led to their separation by their father, Shu. This cosmic division created the space necessary for the world to exist. Despite their physical separation, Geb and Nut are forever connected, symbolizing the eternal link between the earth and sky. Geb also plays a role in the afterlife, particularly in the weighing of the heart ceremony. In the Hall of Judgment, the hearts of the deceased were weighed against the feather of Mat, the goddess of truth. Geb, as the god of the earth, was connected to this ritual, as the dead were ultimately returned to his care if they passed the test. Geb is the father of several important gods, including Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys. His children play crucial roles in the stories of life, death, and rebirth in Egyptian mythology. Geb's legacy is carried on through them, with Osiris becoming the god of the afterlife, Isis the goddess of magic, Set the god of chaos, and Nephthys the protector of the dead. The Egyptians celebrated Geb in various festivals, particularly those related to the harvest. These festivals involved offerings of food, drink, and prayers for fertility and protection of the land. By honoring Geb, the Egyptians hoped to ensure bountiful crops and prosperity for the coming year. As the god of the earth, Geb was not only connected to the land and humans, but also to animals. He was particularly associated with snakes, which were believed to live close to the earth, and thus had a direct connection to Geb. Some stories even depict Geb as the father of snakes, further emphasizing his bond with the creatures that slither across the land. Geb was often associated with the concept of kingship in ancient Egypt. Pharaohs were seen as his descendants, ruling over the land that Geb himself governed. The throne of Egypt was sometimes called the throne of Geb, symbolizing the divine right of kings to rule over the land and its people. The prosperity of the kingdom was closely linked to Geb's favor. When Set killed Osiris, it was said that Geb wept for his son, and his tears caused the Nile to flood, ensuring the fertility of the land. This event highlighted the close connection between the gods and the natural world, where even the grief of a god could manifest in the physical realm, affecting the lives of all who depended on the river. In Egyptian mythology, Geb's domain extends beyond the physical earth to the afterlife. It is believed that the souls of the dead return to the earth after they die, where they rest under Geb's protection. The god's connection to the afterlife underscores his role in both the physical and spiritual realms, where he ensures that the cycle of life continues uninterrupted. Geb played a crucial role in many religious rituals, particularly those related to the land and the harvest. Egyptians offered prayers and sacrifices to Geb in hopes of ensuring a bountiful crop and the continued fertility of the land. These rituals were vital to maintaining harmony between the people and the natural world, with Geb standing as the bridge between humanity and the earth. Geb was a popular figure in Egyptian art, often depicted lying beneath the sky goddess Nut, representing the earth. His green or black skin symbolized fertility and the richness of the soil, while his association with serpents emphasized his control over both life and death. These images captured the essence of Geb as the eternal provider, protector, and ruler of the earth. Geb's role in Egyptian mythology is tied to the concept of cosmic balance. As the god of the earth, he represents stability and order, countering the forces of chaos represented by Set. This balance is essential to the functioning of the universe, as both life and death, creation and destruction, are necessary for the world to continue. Geb's steadfast presence ensures that balance is maintained, both in the natural world and in the spiritual realm. For the ancient Egyptians, Geb was not only the god of the living earth, but also the final resting place for the dead. The earth received the bodies of the deceased, returning them to Geb's care. Burial rituals were performed with the belief that Geb would protect the dead in their tombs, ensuring their safe passage to the afterlife. The earth itself was a sacred space, where the living and the dead coexisted under Geb's eternal watch. Geb's legacy endures throughout Egyptian mythology as one of the most important gods in the pantheon. His influence over the land, the Nile, the dead, and the afterlife makes him a central figure in the cycle of life and death. To the ancient Egyptians, Geb was not just a god of the earth. He was the earth itself, the foundation upon which all life rested. His presence in their everyday lives, from the crops they grew to the tombs they built, ensured that his influence would never be forgotten. Geb's role as the god of earth reflects the ancient Egyptians' deep connection to the land. They revered the earth as a living being that provided for them in life and embraced them in death. Geb's dual role as the nurturer of life and the protector of the dead ensured his prominence in both the physical and spiritual realms. His story is a testament to the enduring importance of the earth and the forces of nature in Egyptian mythology. The Nile River, Egypt's lifeblood, was intricately connected to Geb. The river's yearly floods, which brought fertility to the land, were believed to be a gift from Geb. He was seen as the foundation of the natural world, with the Nile as the artery that gave Egypt life. Without the blessings of Geb, the land would become barren and the civilization would crumble. The Egyptians believed that Geb had power over the weather and the changing of the seasons. His laughter was said to cause earthquakes, and his breath brought the winds that helped shape Egypt's desert landscape. Seasonal changes in temperature and the rhythms of planting and harvesting were seen as part of Geb's influence over the natural world. Geb played a vital role in the cycle of life and death. While he nurtured life on the surface of the earth, he also welcomed the dead into his embrace, becoming their eternal resting place. The earth symbolized both creation and destruction, growth and decay. The cycle was seen as a natural process, governed by Geb's ever-present hand, ensuring the balance between life and death. As the god of the earth, Geb was also connected to healing and medicine. The Egyptians believed that the earth provided natural remedies through plants, herbs, and minerals that could cure ailments. He was invoked in healing rituals, as his energy was believed to flow through the earth and into the people, giving them health and vitality. Throughout the year, the Egyptians held festivals in honor of Geb to celebrate his contributions to the land's fertility and the prosperity of the kingdom. These festivals involved prayers, offerings, and dances, celebrating the god who ensured that the earth continued to provide for them. One such festival was dedicated to the flood of the Nile, a time of great joy as the land would soon become fertile again. Geb's legacy continued through his children, who played significant roles in Egyptian mythology. His son Osiris became the god of the underworld, and his daughter Isis was a powerful goddess of magic and healing. Together, they shaped the pantheon of gods who governed life, death, and everything in between. Geb's influence was woven into their stories as they carried on the balance between the earth, the heavens, and the afterlife. Geb's calm demeanor as the god of earth did not mean he was free from conflict. In several myths, Geb engaged in battles with other gods, most notably Set, who represented chaos and destruction. These clashes were seen as the struggle between order and chaos, where Geb would defend the natural balance of the world. His battles ensured that the earth would remain fertile and prosperous despite the forces of chaos trying to bring it to ruin. Even today, Geb's legacy as the god of the earth can be felt in modern interpretations of ancient mythology. His story, like many other Egyptian deities, continues to inspire art, literature, and spiritual practices. Geb's connection to nature and the cycles of life and death resonates with modern environmental movements, which see the earth as a living entity that must be protected and respected. Geb's influence extended into the architecture of ancient Egypt. Many temples, pyramids, and monuments were designed to honor the gods, with Geb's connection to the earth symbolized in the very stones that built them. The solid foundation of these structures represented the enduring strength of the earth itself, a reflection of Geb's unwavering power. Geb, the god of earth, was more than just a deity to the ancient Egyptians. He was the foundation upon which their civilization was built, a source of life, stability, and protection. His role as a guardian of both the living and the dead ensured that his influence would last throughout the ages. As the Egyptians looked to the earth for their survival, they knew that Geb was watching over them, ensuring that the land would continue to provide for future generations.